Aloha and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about common wireless connectivity. We're going to start with a discussion of cellular connectivity. So a cellular network, it's a network that's composed of three different parts. You've got the central towers that are used for communications. You've got the wireless devices on the end. And then they're all divided into these areas, these geographical areas called cells. In order to communicate on one of these cellular networks, you're going to need something called a subscriber identity module or a SIM card. And these SIM cards in recent years, they're being replaced with eSIMs. Some phones still have the ability to do both a physical SIM card and an eSIM. And the eSIM is just it's a built-in version of your SIM card. So you don't have to actually have that physical card that can get damaged over time. So the nice thing about that also is if you've got two SIMs on there, you can use one for one network, and then like when I travel, to foreign countries, I can just get an eSIM for the other one, so I can easily switch between those networks. So when you're using a phone in the beginning, you're often locked onto a certain network. And mobile carriers sometimes, when they're selling you a device, as many of you may have found out, you're going to end up locked into a contract with them, and they're not going to unlock your device so that it can be used on other networks until you finish some kind of a period of which you're paying for the device or something like that. So after they've unlocked it, it's going to allow you to use any carrier cell network. So there's a history to cell networks as well. So it started out before this with 1G, but we start our discussions with the second generation, which was the Global System for Mobile Communications, GSM. And GSM was a European developed protocol suite that was used for the 2G versions of wireless communication. Then after that, we had the CDMA, which is the code division multiple access. And that's the underlying channel access method used by the third generation 3G wireless mobile communications. That was discontinued, I believe, in 2022. So you're not going to see that around anymore, 3G. But we still have 4G, 4G LTE, and the newest one, which is 5G. So 4G comes in, it's referred to as long-term evolution, LTE. Uh, which is kind of ironic because something replaced it not too long after. But LTE came out, and that was the fourth generation of wireless mobile communication. Then you've got the fifth generation that's the most current thing right now, and that started in recent years. So the fifth generation, it's referred to as 5G, obviously, not to be confused with 5 gigahertz. So don't get confused about that. But there's a good chart or a good participation activity that's going to go through the different parts of the history of cellular standards, and that's a good one to watch because it's going to tell you like when we move from analog to digital and things like that. So do take a look at that. Um, Now there's something about Wi-Fi connectivity as well. So Wi-Fi connectivity, as opposed to cellular data, you're essentially using Wi-Fi standards. And these Wi-Fi standards have been developed over time by the IEEE. And the IEEE, you're going to see this everywhere in IT. It stands for the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. And it's a professional organization that advances technology through technical standard developments and other efforts. So when we're talking about Wi-Fi, the IEEE 802 LAN MAN Standards Committee, they define many of the aspects of the WLAN technology in the IEEE standard 802.11. So when we're talking about WLAN, I don't think they define what that is, but WLAN stands for wireless local area network. So essentially, it's a local area network that's going to have wireless communication going on with it. So there's another group out there called the Wi-Fi Alliance. And the Wi-Fi Alliance is a network of companies that are responsible for certifying the proper implementation of an IEEE technical standard. So Wi-Fi, Y/Fi is Wi-Fi Alliance's certification indicating that a WLAN product meets an IEEE technical standard. So if you look at a device and it says Wi-Fi certified on it, that means that they've actually certified that network device properly implements an IEEE technical standard, which means you can trust it, theoretically. So they go through a nice participation activity as well that's going to show you the process by which you go through something. And so they talk about like, oh, if you've got a WAP, a wireless access point, WAP, if you know a hardware advancement enables one to go faster, then the IEEE is going to recognize the need to standardize that concept or idea. So they're going to go ahead and meet. So what's going to happen is the appropriate IEEE standards committee, they're going to commission a working group to draft a new technical standard. So then after that technical standard, or what's going to happen is the new WAP is usually produced while the technical standard is being ratified. Then once the technical standard is ratified, Wi-Fi Alliance will come in and begin the certification process for it. So if the WAP meets the IEEE technical standard, then the wireless access point is going to receive that Wi-Fi certified logo on it. So it stamps that onto all its product advertising and everything. Then over time, the new amendments go through the same development process and become part of the original technical standard. So like we had the 802.11 technical standard, and from that we've had several generations of wireless connectivity like 802.11a, 802.11b, 802.11g, and it goes on and on. So there's plenty of these standards, and we're going to be learning about those as well going forward. Another thing we're going to talk about here is Bluetooth connectivity. Bluetooth, as I mentioned earlier, like the headphones, we have a lot of devices that use Bluetooth. It's going to be operating in the 2.4 gigahertz band. And the problem with that is you can get some interference with other devices. It can interfere with your Wi-Fi, which can be 2.4 or 5 gigahertz. It could interfere with other things like mice and keyboards that also use that band width. So yeah, that's something you have to worry about. Pairing is the process by which we connect devices. So Bluetooth is going to be connecting usually, you know, a host with a device. So think keyboards, think mice, things like that. So there's a process that goes on for actually connecting things up. So usually on the device that you want to connect to the host, you're going to hit a button on it that's going to start what it's going to go into what we call discovery mode. So it's going to make it visible. So after you like press a button on a mouse, it'll, you know, there's like a little button on the bottom maybe, and you press that in, hold it, and after about 5 seconds, it's going to start going into discovery mode. So then you go into your computer, you look in there, you try to find, you go under Bluetooth, and you see what kind of devices it can see. Then you click on it, and then you start the pairing process. Sometimes there's going to be an exchange of a PIN number or something like that. So you'll have to, you know, go ahead and type in something that appears on, you know, something, or, you know, to get a, like if you're doing a keyboard to a computer, you may have to, on the computer itself, it'll say, type in the number 712 on your keyboard. Then you type that in on your keyboard, then it knows that was you, and you've got the pairing already completed. And then everything after that will be in encrypted mode. All the communication between the two devices will be encrypted. You can do unencrypted type communications, and there are some types out there that do that, but we prefer encrypted communication wherever we can. So there's also sharing devices we're going to talk about. So mobile devices can share resources through things like tethering, hotspots, or USB on the go. So a mobile hotspot, not sure if you've heard of this or had the need for it, but a mobile hotspot is when you have a device that simply it takes in an internet connection and it sends out Wi-Fi. So you can go ahead and if you have like tablets and laptops and things like that, you can connect those to your hotspot so you'll have internet connectivity. You can also do tethering. So tethering is when you connect a device, whether through a cable or some wireless method, and you can do that to like now if you were to have, let's say, a smartphone with a data plan and you're allowed 5, you know, like a 5 GB tethering plan or, you know, hotspot, what'll happen is they'll take 5 GB and allow you to let somebody else use 5 GB worth of data that month. We also have USB on the go, and that's the specification that allows USB devices to be either a host or a device or an end device. So examples of this, you can have USB flash drives or external media, digital cameras, mice and keyboards. So it'll allow you to change, to switch between the roles of host and the device. So for example, you can have a mobile phone that reads from its own disk, but then if you attach it to a computer, it becomes like a large storage, you know, disk. So that's USB on the go. And that's it for this chapter. So reviewing that, we have cellular connectivity. We talked about the different generations of wireless, or not wireless, but the cellular networks that are out there. We also talked about Wi-Fi connectivity. We talked about the role of the IEEE and the Wi-Fi Alliance. We talked about Bluetooth connectivity, about the process of pairing. We also talked about sharing devices, mobile hotspots, tethering, and USB on the go. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to talk to you about it. Aloha.